Welcome to the lands of science fiction stories. I wish you a pleasant listening experience.
The story opens with Captain Valtor Wren, a human commander, and his crew arriving at Thalox Prime, a desolate world once thought to hold incredible riches left behind by an ancient, vanished civilization. Valtor's team, including his cynical first officer Jorix, are professional scavengers. They're drawn by rumors of technology that could alter the balance of power in the galaxy, where humans are still considered an underdog species. Valtor isn't your typical captain. Rugged and battle-hardened, he's known for his strange ability to flirt with danger and women from every species, a skill that has gotten him out of numerous sticky situations. Upon landing, the crew begins exploring the ruins. However, the desolation and eerie silence indicate that they aren't alone. Suddenly, Jorix detects a strange energy signature. Deep within the ruins, Valtor and his crew discover a sealed chamber, something far older than any alien civilization they have encountered. And then they find it, a pod holding a boy who looks distinctly human. His eyes open, and strange symbols flicker on the walls. As the boy awakens, the ruins come alive. Massive machines were to life, and alien drones begin to move, seemingly protecting the child. Valtor watches in awe, realizing the boy may be the key to unlocking whatever treasure lies in the ruins. The boy, however, doesn't remember who he is or where he came from, and he speaks in an ancient human dialect. Valtor quickly realizes the situation is dire as their communications are suddenly jammed. The alien drones begin moving aggressively, and Valtor's team is forced to fight their way back to their ship with the boy in tow. Back on the ship, tension rises between Valtor and his alien crew members, particularly with Thane, a seductive alien navigator who has a dark interest in humans. As Valtor tries to understand the strange connection between the boy and the technology, Thane confronts him in his quarters, leading to a provocative exchange of words and power dynamics. Valtor, unflinching in the face of her advances, pushes her back, but he can't deny the strange attraction between them. Once safe aboard their ship, Valtor's team examines the boy more closely. As they question him, strange abilities begin to manifest. Telekinetic powers, the ability to interact with machines effortlessly. Valtor's suspicions are confirmed. The boy is not just a relic of the past. He is a living key to humanity's lost superweapons. Their ship is soon intercepted by a fleet from the Etherian Empire, the most powerful alien regime in the galaxy, which had long sought the mythical human weapons. Helen reveals she had been an informant for the Etherians all along, and they planned to take the boy. But Valtor isn't easily betrayed. He confronts Scene, engaging in a battle of wills, where her sultry tactics fail to overpower his resolve. The tension between them reaches a boiling point, blending danger and seduction. The Etherian commander, however, underestimates Valtor's ability to adapt. As the Etherian ships open fire, the boy instinctively taps into his latent powers, activating the weapons systems of the ruins on the planet below. The ancient human defenses, long dormant, unleash devastating beams that obliterate the Etherian fleet in a matter of seconds. The alien seductress Stuan, who had tried to manipulate Valtor, now sees the devastating power of humanity's lost technology and begins to reconsider her allegiance. She realizes that with Valtor by her side, she could harness this power for herself, but Valtor isn't one to be manipulated so easily. As the crew celebrates their unexpected victory, Hien makes her move. In a heated moment, she confronts Valtor in the ship's command center. The scene is charged with a mixture of anger, passion, and mutual respect. As the two engage in a battle of both words and desires, Valtor shows why he's been able to command loyalty from so many, his unyielding determination and confidence. Huan, despite her seductive nature, finds herself truly captivated by him. Yet, as they near their ultimate goal, unleashing the full potential of humanity's weapons, the boy begins to realize the cost of his power. His memories slowly return, revealing a chilling truth about why the weapons were hidden and what will happen if they are fully activated. Valtor, now fully aware of the boy's potential, leads his crew to a secret facility where the most powerful weapon in the human arsenal lies dormant. However, the facility is heavily guarded by ancient defense systems that even the boy cannot control immediately. As they navigate the labyrinth of traps, Valtor finds himself growing closer to the boy, seeing him almost like a son. And too, begins to soften, torn between her loyalty to the Etherians and her growing feelings for Valtor and the boy. In a climactic scene, they reach the core of the facility, a room filled with strange human relics and an impossibly large superweapon that dwarfs anything the galaxy has ever seen. The boy, now fully aware of his identity and purpose, steps forward to activate it. But something is wrong. As the weapon hums to life, Valtor realizes that the power within it could easily destroy the galaxy if not controlled. With Theon at his side, they must convince the boy to resist his programming and shut down the weapon before it's too late. As the massive human superweapon begins to hum with life, the entire facility vibrates, its ancient mechanisms awakening after millennia. Valtor's hands tighten around his plasma pistol as he watches the boy, now standing at the weapon's core, flickering lights dancing across his pale skin. The boy's eyes glow with an eerie, golden hue, his expression calm but detached. Ain stands beside Valtor, her gaze shifting between the weapon and the boy, torn between ambition and fear. "He's becoming something more," Theon whispers, her voice low, as though afraid to disturb the growing energy in the room. Valtor steps forward, his mind racing. The ancient human weapon, the key to either saving or dooming the galaxy, is now under the boy's control. But something isn't right. The energy pulses in erratic waves, destabilizing the entire structure. "We've come too far for this to fall apart now," Valtor mutters, his hand instinctively brushing against Theon's arm. She leans into the touch, a silent acknowledgement of their unspoken connection, though it's laced with tension. They both know what's at stake, power beyond measure, but also the boy's fragile humanity. The temptation to unleash the full force of the superweapon looms large in Theon's eyes. Her seductive, calculating nature bubbles to the surface, and she turns to Valtor, her lips curling into a sultry smile. "We could rule this galaxy, Valtor," she says, stepping closer, her voice a soft purr. "Together, with the boy's power, nothing could stop us. Imagine it. No more crawling through ruins, no more scavenging for scraps. We could take whatever we wanted." Valtor meets her gaze, the intensity in her eyes undeniable. He feels the pull, the raw attraction between them igniting once again. But deep inside, he knows Theon's ambition is dangerous. Her seduction is intoxicating, but Valtor has never been one to bend to temptation so easily. His eyes shift back to the boy, who remains eerily still. The weapon's control systems seem to respond to him instinctively, as if drawn to his genetic signature. The power surging through the boy is immense, far beyond what Valtor had ever imagined. "We can't let him lose himself to this," Valtor says, his voice steady, even though his pulse quickens under Theon's touch. Theon's eyes narrow, her seductive smile fading as she steps back, recognizing Valtor's resolve. "You're a fool if you don't see the opportunity here," she snaps, though her tone carries an edge of frustration. "This is our chance to take control." Valtor shakes his head, stepping past her and approaching the boy. Control like this is never worth the cost. Suddenly, the ground beneath them shakes violently. The facility's defense systems activate, a series of robotic drones emerging from hidden panels in the walls. Their glowing red eyes lock onto the group, targeting them as intruders. Alarms blare through the facility, warning of the power imbalance caused by the boy's connection to the weapon. "We're running out of time," Valtor shouts as he draws his plasma pistol, firing at the approaching drones. His shots hit their mark, but more drones swarm into the room, their metallic limbs clattering as they close in. Owen snaps into action, her graceful movements betraying her lethal combat skills. She spins, kicking a drone aside before slashing through another with her energy blade, her seductive demeanor replaced with raw, focused fury. "We need to get him out of there," she yells over the din of battle, her voice strained as she battles off the drones. Valtor dives toward the weapon's core, dodging the incoming fire from the drones. He grabs the boy by the shoulders, trying to snap him out of the trance-like state. "Kid, you need to wake up," Valtor shouts, shaking him. But the boy's eyes remain locked on the glowing console before him, his connection to the superweapon too strong to break. The power surging through him grows more intense by the second, And Valtor realizes that if they don't stop it soon, the entire facility, and possibly the planet, will be destroyed. In fights her way to Valtor's side, her chest heaving from the effort. "What are we going to do?" she asks, her usual confidence faltering as she stares at the boy, whose eyes glow even brighter. Valtor's mind races. He knows they can't leave the boy connected to the weapon, but if they pull him out forcibly, the resulting energy release could tear them all apart. With no other options, Valtor makes a bold decision. "We're shutting it down even if it kills us." He and Diane exchange a look, an understanding that they are on the precipice of something far bigger than either of them. Diane's gaze softens, and for a brief moment, there's no seduction, no manipulation, just two warriors facing the end together. Diane nods, and without another word, the two of them move in unison. Valtor slams his hand down on the emergency shutdown console, while Diane slices through the power conduits connecting the boy to the weapon. The room erupts in chaos as the energy feedback surges through the facility, tearing apart the remaining drones and shaking the ground beneath their feet. The boy collapses into Valtor's arms as the glowing symbols on the walls flicker and die. The superweapon powers down, its terrible potential sealed once again. Valtor breathes a sigh of relief, cradling the unconscious boy. Diane stands beside him, her eyes filled with a mix of awe and regret. "We did it," she whispers, though her voice carries the weight of the opportunity lost. Valtor nods, staring down at the boy, the key to humanity's greatest weapon, and wondering what the future holds now that they've unlocked this deadly secret. The silence in the chamber was almost deafening after the chaos. Valtor looked down at the boy in his arms, unconscious but alive. His body trembled as the adrenaline coursed through him, the weight of their actions settling in. They had stopped the weapon from tearing the planet apart, but the cost of wielding such power lingered in the air. Diane stood nearby, her hands resting on her hips, her face a mixture of frustration and admiration. She had been so close to seizing the power that could have rewritten her fate. But Valtor's steadfast nature had denied her that path, leaving them both with the uncertainty of what came next. "We need to get out of here," Valtor said, his voice steady but laced with exhaustion. Diane glanced toward the ruined drones and the darkened consoles. "And go where? You think Yeth and his crew are just going to let us leave with the galaxy's greatest weapon?" she asked, her tone sharp. Valtor shook his head, still holding the boy as he began to stir. "We'll figure that out. Right now, we need to get him to safety." Before Diane could respond, the ground beneath them shook violently again. The facility, destabilized by the shutdown of the superweapon, was beginning to collapse. The ancient structure groaned as walls cracked and debris began to fall from the ceiling. "Move!" Valtor shouted, grabbing Diane's arm and pulling her toward the exit. Together, they ran through the crumbling halls, dodging falling debris and the sparks of dying machinery. The boy, still barely conscious, clung to Valtor as they navigated their way back to the surface. Every step felt like it could be their last, but Valtor's determination pushed them forward. As they emerged from the ruins, the sky above was filled with the flickering lights of Yetha's fleet. The Pelion had sent an entire armada to intercept them, no doubt hoping to claim both the boy and the human technology for himself. "We're not going to make it to the ship," Diane muttered, her eyes scanning the horizon. "They'll blast us before we even reach the ramp." Valtor gritted his teeth, his mind racing for a solution. He looked at the boy, who was starting to regain his senses, blinking up at Valtor with wide, confused eyes. "You're the key to all of this," Valtor whispered to him. "We need your help, kid." The boy's brow furrowed as he glanced between Valtor and the approaching fleet. He didn't speak, but Valtor could feel the shift in the air, a strange hum of energy building around them. The boy reached out with one trembling hand, and suddenly, the ancient ruins behind them surged to life again. Pillars of light shot up from the ground, surrounding the group, and the air shimmered with a translucent barrier. The Yeth armada opened fire, but their plasma rounds disintegrated as they hit the barrier, leaving the ships unharmed but unable to penetrate the protective field. Diane's eyes widened in disbelief. He's doing this?" Valtor nodded, watching in awe as the boy effortlessly controlled the ancient defense systems, blocking the alien fleet from reaching them. For the first time since they had found the boy, Valtor understood just how powerful he truly was. The fleet, unable to break through the barrier, began to retreat, their ships turning away from the planet in a hasty withdrawal. Yeth wasn't going to risk losing more than he had already gambled on this operation. As the last of the alien ships disappeared into the stars, the boy collapsed again, the barrier flickering out of existence. Valtor caught him before he hit the ground, gently lowering him to the grass. "It's over," Tian said quietly, standing beside Valtor, her voice a mixture of relief and disbelief. "We survived." Valtor knelt beside the boy, brushing a lock of hair from his face. "For now. But this kid, he's the last piece of something much bigger. We can't keep him hidden forever." Anne knelt down as well, her sharp demeanor softened as she looked at the boy. "Then what do we do? Hand him over to the Galactic Council? Let them pick him apart for their own gain?" Valtor's jaw clenched. He knew she was right. The galaxy wasn't ready for this kind of power, and there were too many factions that would stop at nothing to control it. But they couldn't keep running forever. The boy was a living weapon, a relic of humanity's greatest achievements, and the galaxy would never stop hunting him. "We protect him," Valtor finally said. "We keep him safe until he can make his own choices. He's more than just a key, he's the future of whatever humanity left behind." Anne raised an eyebrow, a hint of a smile playing on her lips. "You've always been the protector type, haven't you? Even when it's going to get you killed." Valtor chuckled, standing up and offering her a hand. "What can I say? Old habits die hard." She took his hand, her eyes lingering on his for a moment longer than necessary. "You know, Valtor, I've never met anyone like you. Someone who could walk away from power like that." He shrugged, glancing at the ruins one last time. "Power like that comes with a price. And it's one I'm not willing to pay." Anne smirked, pulling herself to her feet. "Maybe you're not as predictable as I thought." They turned toward their ship, the boy cradled in Valtor's arms, and began the long walk back. Behind them, the ruins of the ancient human facility lay silent once more, its secrets locked away for another age. As they boarded the ship and prepared for takeoff, Valtor cast one last glance at the planet below. They had uncovered humanity's greatest weapon, but they had also uncovered something more, something that couldn't be quantified or controlled. As the ship lifted off and soared into the stars, Valtor couldn't help but wonder if the galaxy was ready for what came next. But whatever it was, they would face it together. Then